Day 3 was the day we would have our wheels, so after breakfast we checked out of our hotel, called a taxi to take us to the airport where we would pick up our rental car. The ride to the airport was interesting for us since it was the first time we got to see the rest of Sarajevo in daylight outside the old town. Once at the airport, we made our way to the car rental agency and picked up our car. It was a Peugeot 2008 small SUV. This was the first Peugeot I had been in since 1997, and we discussed how confusing it is to have 2008 as the model number since we originally mistook it for the model year, which would have been a concern. After installing the phone holder and dash cam, we set off to start our trip. The plan for today was to visit the Tunnel of Life, or Tunnel of Hope, near Sarajevo Airport, then drive to Mostar while stopping along the way for any interesting attractions we run into. After going to the wrong site, we started to realize that some places are wrongly tagged on Google Maps and had to get directions for a different site. This is a realization we should have paid more attention to, as you will see later on our trip. The tunnel was dug by hand during the siege on Sarajevo in 1993 as a lifeline to the outside world and ran under the runway of Sarajevo Airport. This tunnel allowed crucial supplies and people to be moved in and out of the blockaded city for years, and remains as a reminder of the human race's cruelty, as well as the resilience and will to survive against all odds. We spent about 90 minutes visiting the Tunnel Museum before heading out, but before we hit the road to leave the city, we found a supermarket to stock up on snacks and water for the next 7 days of road travel. It's always interesting to go into a supermarket in a new country because we get to learn about prices of common goods, about local brands, local foods and favorites, and of course get snacks. We then set our sat-nav towards our next stop, Tito's nuclear bunker, which was about an hour's drive away near Konjic. But we had a couple of issues regarding that visit. First, our online research showed that you needed to make a reservation and cannot just show up there, which we did. Or, to be clear, we made an online reservation request, to which we never received confirmation, so weren't really sure if we had a reservation. Second, the reservation request we made was for 2 p.m., and the directions showed that we would arrive 5 minutes late. So we decided to see what happens when we get there. Exiting the city from the airport area was easy enough, and the city roads quickly led us to the extremely modern and spacious E73 highway, with speed limits of up to 130 kilometers per hour. We of course had to pay tolls on the part of the highway before Konjic. As we entered Konjic with our directions set towards the bunker, we came across one of Konjic's iconic sites, the Stara Ćuprija Konjic, or the Ottoman Bridge. We would not have passed it if we had the directions set straight to Mostar, since it would have taken us in a different direction. But we were glad we passed it because at that point, we decided to pull over and enjoy Konjic, rather than continue on to a bunker that we may or may not be able to enter. The views of Konjic on either side of the Neretva River were stunning, and the bridge itself, a masterpiece of Ottoman engineering, was commissioned in 1682, serving for centuries as a vital link on the caravan route between Sarajevo and the Adriatic coast. The structure standing today is a meticulous reconstruction. The original was deliberately destroyed by retreating German forces in 1945 and rebuilt in 2009. We spent some time walking around the old town of Konjic, which seemed to have shut down for the season, but nonetheless was impressive, and enjoyed riverside views of the bridge and town before continuing on. Beyond Konjic, the road turned from a full highway with separated lanes to a smaller two-lane expressway, which is the most common inner-city road type we encountered in Bosnia. This was great, especially as the terrain became more scenic, with the river on our right and mountains on either side. It was a truly spectacular drive. After about an hour on the road, we started entering Mostar and set our directions for the hotel we had booked in the old town. It was easy enough to find, but wasn't as easy to drive into. So we stopped at the top of the hill and walked down to find our host and ask about parking. Our hosts were amazing. They helped us by driving the car down the steep and narrow cobblestone street to the front of the property, where there was enough parking for the guests of this small family-run boutique hotel right in the middle of the old town, and a couple of minutes walk to the famous Mostar Bridge. We were then taken to our room and shown around, and it was probably the best room we stayed at in Bosnia, with a comfy balcony and views of the old city. After settling into our room, we went out to explore the old town, walk towards the bridge. We walked around for a while, going down to the river for alternate views of the bridge until the sun set and it was getting dark. At that point, many of the old town's shops were starting to close, so we looked for a place to have dinner and settled on the second signature Bosnian dish recommended to us, ćevapi. So we found a restaurant and were served one of the bigger portions of ćevapi available, as we would find out later in the trip. But since we hadn't had anything to eat since breakfast in Sarajevo, our stomachs were able to finish our plates. After dinner, we walked around a little more in the old town, then went back to our hotel for the night. If you like this video, then please hit the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to see my other videos. Thanks for watching.